Hello and welcome back. Today we are continuing our Liu Bei run in Romance of the Three Kingdoms XIII. Last episode we began our push north, capturing Hanzhong and starting to fight Cao Cao. We are mainly fighting him here in terms of our battles that we have control over in Changban. We will continue to fight here specifically as best we can. We really hope that, he attacks more into us than into our AI-controlled forces over here in the west. Another thing is we noticed there is distinctly very, very little fighting going on between Wu and Wei, and that might just be the historical typing. Last episode we did see some of the events where they tried to push north but were repelled by Zhang Liao, and so I think that's something we are going to do this episode, is we're going to first retreat back into here and let the AI defend this for a little bit, but also we are going to send an envoy to Wu to request that they attack and start pushing into something like Shouchun. And that way, if the AI piles into them, that will hopefully give us a little bit of a reprieve, because I think that overall, we are maybe slightly getting the worst of things here, just very, very slightly, and Cao Cao's army is way bigger than us, and we have to try and play these two against each other and have them fight each other rather than us, especially because Cao Cao is so much bigger than us in the north. So that's going to be the plan, is coming in here, using a foreign diplomacy and petitioning him to attack a specific city. We're thinking Shouchun, but Xinye would actually be better for us if he attacked, because that would cut Xiangyang off from reinforcements, and we would be able to just push into that ourselves, and then we would only have one front regarding into the north with Cao Cao, so we could control and dictate all the battles if there's only a single front. So maybe that's something we do. We go for a little bit of a cheeky thing, because they have to go through Xinye on the road in order to attack us. So ideally, we would actually want them to attack Xinye. So this is probably what we look to do in order to get ourselves into a position where we can advance up here in the west and claim the northwest region for ourselves. We, of course, make sure to visit the wife. Got a wife, Max, and come tonight. Let us speak together until the morning, just the two of us. So we're gonna have another kid. It's called Wife Max, and so you can kid Max. This is the way you do it. So there's 90,000 troops coming to attack Zhitong from Cao Cao, and it leaves us in an awkward spot, because if Zhitong, if they push through this, kind of avenue here, this cuts off Hanzhong. So we can't let them take this spot specifically, otherwise Hanzhong is really vulnerable. Also, for whatever reason, our AI, when we are in battle, the AI will march out, and they will march out without orders from us, and we cannot send these troops back. And for whatever reason, they wanted to advance and take this Anyang, which we're kind of not approving of, but the AI is doing it anyways, which leaves us less defensive resources now to kind of deal with this. We already have a guy, Ma Zhang, who marched from pretty far away to get here. He's only got supplies for another 60 days, so we're actually going to disperse him, because he's not going to be particularly useful. He's going to run out of supplies too quickly, but we got two other troops from far away with around 23,000 troops coming up to support, and as Cao Cao's troops get a little bit closer and the mobilization time gets a little bit closer, you see he's one of the guys going for Zhitong, he's another one of the guys going for Zhitong. As these guys start to mobilize, we'll start sending up more troops. In particular, we have Zhang Fei coming out of Chengdu, and then we have several good officers here in Zhitong that can hopefully help out in Hanzhong, Wu Yi, Fei Yi, and Zhou Kang. These are kind of more the war officers that we have available here, but these two cities should be able to help out quite a lot with some pretty strong forces. I think most of the other ones, better officers, are already occupied over here. Like Yan Yan is a good officer, but he's occupied. Ma Kao, good officer, occupied. Guanping, good officer, occupied. Peng Tong, good officer, occupied. And so it does leave us a little bit vulnerable over here. Hanzhong also might be able to help out. We do have some strong officers there, as well as some coming in. We have Peng De. I don't know when we picked him up. The AI must have employed him at some point, but he is kind of unfaithful in general, but he was a servant of Wei. He served under Ma Kao, betrayed Ma Kao, kind of, and then now he's back on our force. And so he's our kind of best officer here. We have Meng Huo and his wife Zhu Rong, who are going to be a nice pair. And then we have Meng Da. So we have 4 probably pretty strong units that we can send out from here, and a few administrative officers here as well. And so altogether, it should be pretty good. We're looking to try and employ all these guys up who are prisoners there from when we took out Zhang Lu, which the really valuable thing is the officers. So even if we lose Hanzhong from all this, it'll still be fine for us. Especially if Sun Quan rather, accepts our petition that we have kind of coming in to attack Xinye. If they could take Xinye, or even just occupy a ton of forces of Cao Cao, we should be in really good shape to push into Xiangyang, and then from there, we should be able to coordinate much, much better if it's between Hanzhong and Xiangyang than we can if it's between Jiangling and Zitong. The distance to cover is much smaller because you don't have to wrap around this road, and so we should be able to support the 2 cities with each other much better if we can get this scenario. The walls are starting to close in a little bit on Hanzhong. Unfortunately, our troops are just pretty spent here, but we're pushing at least a little further into Jianghe. I think that we will be able to occupy this spot and maybe try and push back for Hanzhong, especially because Sun Quan to the rescue. Sun Quan is actually marching out. He's marching out with a huge amount of troops, and it's very, very likely that they take the city, considering how much of Cao Cao's troops are tied up with us. But if not, he's going to at least decoy a whole bunch of troops away from him. We also have this pretty big battle out here that's going on, and we are going to march and get ready a force and sally forth and help out these smaller armies that have been defending for quite some time here. We kind of want them to go home, but they didn't want to go home because there was more incomings. But the incomings should stop after this. Cao Cao was going to be a little bit too preoccupied with the defense of Xinye, we hope. The battle here we find ourselves is in pretty straightforward. Only 2 of our units got in because a bunch of the little units are already piled in, but as these get destroyed, more of our units will be able to join the battle. So actually, we have this guy defending the home base. Maybe it's not necessary, but this will be fairly straightforward. We're just going to push up, and we're not expecting too much in the way of reinforcements because of Sun Quan's forces marching in, and so we should be able to dust up this battle relatively quickly. They don't even have very good officers in here. Sun Quan, Cao Xiu, and Zun Yu, while being good off the battlefields, not particularly good here. So we should be able to finish this up pretty quick. Alright, I was mistaken. There was another pretty big battle behind this. We are going to be positioning our officers here, but we can see, take a quick look at the units. We have Zhuge Liang leading a bow unit, Guan Yu leading a spear unit, who's going to be doing most of the heavy lifting. The rest of our units here are bow units, which kind of hurts. But this guy right here has a bow unit boosting move, so we're going to move him over here. And I think we're going to put Fa Zhang, who can repel guys pretty well because he has a tactic that forces them to go back. We're going to put him over here. We're going to have 1 spear unit. Actually, you know what? We're going to have our spear unit over here, and we're just going to hope that this lane is the lane that gets more combat. That way we have 2 spear units. We have a guy that's going to specifically boost bow units here, and then we have the brunt of our force. And then we should be able to maneuver Zhao Yun over if we have to. Fa Zhang will be good at getting people to retreat. If they all come this way, we should be able to hold off for the spearish units to survive or come back, or just to take their main base. They have 15,000 more troops than us. We could position some tactics here, but let's see. They have mainly cavalry, but quite a bit more spears than we've been seeing for a while now. I think we're going to use a protection tactic. We're going to put it in right here, kind of in the middle of the lane. This tactic's pretty strong. And then I think that we're going to put over morale attack, discipline tactic. Let's put a mobility tactic, maybe. No. I think we use something that is, we use a medical tactic here, and I think that's all of our tactics. I guess we'll morale tactic, maybe up here. And we really hope to fight in this lane. They might come screaming down this kind of spot. But I think if they do with the likes of Cao Hong, Zhang Ba, the guys who are cavalry, I think that we can withstand on this side. Maybe we can't. Maybe we have to rethink things. and instead have all of these guys here, and then the just Zhao Yun over here. Something like this. Because the main road is here. Let's just see how they start to push on the initial salvo, and we will kind of try and push in here, and we will see how they are directing. Okay, so looks like they're splitting, which is kind of fine. We are going to send him off to take this as quick as possible, and we are going to send her off to take this, Miss Sun Chengxiang. First time in a while that we've had the wife not in the unit with us. Okay, so we're not going to want to toast up with this big a stack by ourselves with Zhao Yun, so we're just going to pause right here, and we are going to try and figure it out. Yeah, it looks like they're advancing around Hanzhong. Hanzhong's probably not going to hold here, but that's okay. That is okay. So let's see if we can get ourselves a kind of defensive position. Guan Yu is going to be leading the charge here, our sworn brother, who's got quite a lot of war and a 320 attack. I think this is the first 300 plus stat line we've seen. And we do want to make sure that he's the one who gets in on these cavalry. And the bow offense formation was what we were referring to, but it just boosts range, so maybe it's not all that great. Oop. Unfortunate. What are they doing here? Alright, well, we're gonna try and do that. Oh, they're just skipping through? Interesting. Can we hold without them? Let's try just running back to the main base and chasing after them, I guess. Kind of awkward. But with the brunt of our forces, let's chase. It's awkward because they're faster than us, but we do want to get on the cavalry. We'll put Sun Chengxiang into chasing as well here. But if they're not going to fight us, then... and they're just going to beeline the main base, then we have to make sure we attend to the main base. We should be able to do pretty well over here. So, and once we get into contact, this is what we were talking about, what we could do to send them back with Fa Zheng, which is going to give us some more time. And we're in now here. We will have our War God in just a moment, and he will be ready to inflict really high damage. Their attack and defense is not very high, despite them being gold units, and now we're up to 380, so we're going to be able to make a short work of them here. And I think we want the archers in back. What are they doing? Archers, go home, you're drunk. Zhao Yun, I think we're just gonna flank them here. And these guys are done for. So that works out pretty nicely. He's defending valiantly over here against the two spear units. Yeah, more bad news about Hanzhong. There's not much we can do about it because we're not the one involved in the... Oop, zipping around. We're not the one involved in the battles, so... unfortunately... Oop. A little bit awkward. Now, does her ability own bow only? So we're gonna let him do most of the work. We're gonna try and get out of the way a little bit. And he's surrounded, and he should be taking a lot of damage. So this is gonna leave just him kind of back here. I think what we're gonna do is, if Man Chong is marching towards our main base, we're just gonna try and bypass him entirely and look to pick up either his main base or these camps back here, and he won't be able to outmaneuver us for that. We could go for his main camp, but it's maybe gratuitous or unnecessary. I'm not sure whether we're supposed to go for his main camp or not. I guess we can. I think we're going to use the protection tactic here because I don't think we're going to get a better opportunity to do it. They're comboing on us currently, so that works. And let's just come in here, and then we're going to use War God. So I think we can declare this battle pretty much done. Kind of made short work of them here. This might not be even necessary. Might just be better to get the flanking bonus here. But I guess we'll send in, because they have another 8,000 here, so maybe we take out the main base. Even though Manchong, his army is going to fall really quick, or his troop. Pretty strong officer in most of the games. You can see he's 109 and 173 on attack and defense. So he's pretty solid, but it's not going to be enough. Even with that large amount of troops, you know, 380, 320, much bigger. So we lost Hanzhong, but a lot of them are just standing there still. I'm not sure if this is because we have forces that are out and about around Jianghe. Of course, they are planning on pushing Zitong through here, so we're going to keep our troops here, which is going to be quite nice for us. We got a lot of strong troops here, troops that we determined how they were going to mobilize, at least the ones with the darker blue circles, and so those ones are a little bit better done. We have Macau coming in, and we have also Pengzi a little bit coming in, and so these ones are the AI marches. The turquoise ones are the AI marches, which are not quite as good, generally speaking, but they'll be fine enough to defend this. Hopefully, we're hoping. Meanwhile, this assault doesn't look like it's going too good, but there's a lot more coming from behind, and so we are hoping that you know, with marches the likes of this, like Zhang He marching out from here, leaving only one guy here, we're hoping that they stretch themselves too thin. If he's coming all the way, you know, to march on Hanzhong, then I think they're going to be left too thin to defend Jianggang, we're hoping, and maybe we can get a push onto Yaicheng or something like this. The problem is we can't marshal much forces from other cities because all the cities are already mobilized for this defense, and you know, like if we were to have these guys deploy for this, who can we bring? Oh, I guess Madine. Well, we can bring the two better guys. Okay, well, the two better officers are there, so maybe we can squeeze a little bit out of some of these cities in terms of better officers, but it would be mainly just coming from our main city, which I don't know if this is going to be enough. It's been a while since I've done an assault in this game, particularly by hand, and so I'm not sure if we have enough juice here, but I think if we just wait for them to take GIP, then it will be really hard for them to well, the problem is they can reinforce through Hanzhong now. The main thing why taking Xiangyang was going to be so easy when we had Hanzhong is there's no way for them to reinforce, but now they can reinforce. So we'll have to have a little bit of think. We'll look for some opportunities. In the meantime, we'll friend the officers that are returning here that had been in, that had been in Hanzhong. Hopefully there's not too many captured. I don't think too many of them got captured in this city. Here, let's get out of this menu. But we do have one prisoner there in Hanzhong. If we come and take a look, who is our officer, almost certainly, and that is Liao Li. We're very likely to lose him. We did lose Zhu Ran. I'm not sure where exactly the free officers or the officers that got released retreated to. Maybe they came to here, and so there should be Meng Huo and Peng Day and some of the bigger guys kind of coming back here, if that was the case, but it doesn't look like it, so I don't know where they're at. We'll have to figure that out. Maybe they're scattered to the winds. I'm not sure what cities they went to. I mean, I don't think this city had 9, so maybe they went to here. Yeah, so we see Peng Day, Meng Huo did appear to come there. And so we'll probably rearrange them. We'll probably bring them back to Jiangling and look to have them control this city after Xiangyang is taken, and maybe give us a bit more options in terms of how we can do this sort of expansion up here into the north. So we've been a little bit lax about assigning titles and ranks, and we have just put in a whole bunch of ranks for officers, which is going to greatly boost their leadership and intelligence and governance. We are putting them in on our best officers. You can see here, if we sort by leadership, you could see all the offices we are applying to our guys. When we rank up, we get more capabilities to add offices, and we are going to put all these in, and these are going to increase their stats greatly. I think once we do this, we're going to take a little bit of look. Jiang Yang, of course, gets demoted. Big sad for him. We're going to take a look at all officers, just kind of get a little bit of an idea of how things are going in terms of who's got the best of the best. For leadership, real quick, we have Guan Yu still holding up quite a good kind of amount, keeping in mind that our category is war here. Zhuge Liang's got a lot. We appointed Zhuge Liang a ministerial title, which increases his intelligence governance. We could have given him a leadership title, but he's one of the better guys for kind of increasing his intelligence, so we went with that. And then we see a smattering of Sun Quan's guys before coming in, and Zhao Yun, who's got 98 leadership, and Ma Kao, who's got 95, Jiang Zi, who's the wifey, big nice, got 95 as well. We might actually, well, so she'll always be one of our comrades, or we'll always have a comrade slot for her, so we'll probably always keep her close, but we might start comrading out, like someone like Guan Yu, we might send him to another city or something like this, just so we can have a little bit more diversity and not be so top heavy in terms of the city we control, and their ability to field really strong armies, because she can lead. We haven't been having her lead forces, but she can lead forces spectacularly, and she's got Steel General, she's even got a strong tactic, so maybe we want to do that. If we sort by war, we see that it's Liu Bei, Liu Bei, Liu Bei, Liu Bei, and then Cao Cao, and then some of this, and then more Liu Bei. Really have a lot of the stronger officers in that category. Sun Shengxiang, our wife, getting a really big boost, notably. I think she has mid to high 80s in terms of her stat normally, but she's getting an absolute ton from the comrade bonus, and then also having a title is putting her up in a pretty strong category. She can lead troops spectacularly as well, so maybe not as important to have them all kind of piled in together. If we sort by intelligence, we have the absolute best of the best with Zhuge Liang, followed by Fa Zhang, who wouldn't have been in here before, but now he's up here pretty high. I believe he's one of our comrades. We can take a quick look at our comrades, but then it's a whole bunch of Cao Cao army. And it's going to be the story of the Cao Cao army and Sun Quan army regarding governance, generally speaking. Jiang Wan is doing pretty good, then Zhuge Liang, but I think that's going to be the main ones to write home about. I guess him as well is going to be good for us. We got some good guys. Okay. But we're looking at this force thing here. But we're doing okay. We have a lot of officers. They have a lot of officers. And just a quick look at our comrades, the people who are getting boosted here. They're getting boosted in war and intelligence, and Fa Zhang is among them. We probably want to go for a little bit more comrade slots, and maybe we want to start moving guys around, like Guan Yu to a different city where he can lead and maybe do a little bit more good than sitting in the city with us. Maybe this is especially true with Zhao Yun, whose tactic I don't think is quite as strong, and so maybe we send Zhao Yun off somewhere else and we slot in like something like Guan Xing or Guan Suo, who's in the city with us anyway. We slot him in, and he could do some good in the place of Zhao Yun. The problem is we do want a cavalry unit, and he's kind of our cavalry unit guy right now, so we'll have to think about that. But that's how things are going kind of with the officers. So we sent Zhao Yun off because we figured he could do better or more good in another city, and instead we're going to try and get Peng De as our one of our friends. That way we can both expand our comrade circle and also have a guy who's going to be pretty good at cavalry, but in order to do that, we have to beat him in a duel. Fortunately, we're pretty good at duels because we have the plus 10 strength bonus that we are getting from our comrades, and so, or the plus 10 war, and so let's see if we can do it on the first try. If not, we'll just keep trying. I think eventually we'll be able to defeat him in a duel. We see that he has a better dueling score and a slightly better strength, but 96 is no slouch for us, and we also have opportunities to boost our war considerably throughout what's going on. So I think we're going to lead with a defend because we know he starts with an attack. I think we try triple defend into knockout and attack. I don't really know the strategy for best here, but we'll just confirm this. If they unbalance us at a key time and we are not able to get our knockoff blow off, then we just kind of lose. And if we can get a full power knockoff blow, then we'll be in good shape. It's kind of how this goes. So we're just going to keep defending. It's nice that he's attacking into our defense. We just hope he doesn't unbalance here. Yep, so that's unfortunate because we don't get to do our move here, and he'll just attack us, and we lose this. I think there's just about no way. Oh no, wait, we get a knockout off, but it's not enough. So we'll just keep trying and hopefully get him relatively quickly before we can push into Xiang Yang as a friend and comrade so we can boost his war by 10. So we end up getting a fetch quest the second time around, and we fetch him a Guando. He, of course, is now just filled with gratitude and will become our great friend. Our biggest friend, our bestest friend. Just kidding, he's a regular friend. Just a normal friend. Just your average everyday friend. Of course, will give us a little boost to trading and him a boost to virtue, which is always nice. It's why it's good to have friends. You get more skills. And Guan Suo, not quite as good, but we will be able to slot him in instead. And so this will be very nice for Peng Dei's in particular war. Going to be boosting him up by plus 10. Also boosting his leadership by 1, which is going to be nice as well. We could probably do better than Huang Yuying here in this slot, but we don't have another guy that we have leading troops in this spot. And we might just send her off with Zhuge Liang because they pair well together, just like we pair well with our wives as far as things go. We maybe want to send Guan Yu out into the world to defeat people without us, which would give us a chance to maybe use some of these leadership guys instead and look to get like a 5-5-5 thing with between intelligence, war, and leadership, which I think would overall be a better bonus. And we would be getting that I think if we slot out one of these guys and we get just one leadership guy, we would get that. So if we were to, for example, if this were to be the squad, which it's not the squad, but if it were the squad, I guess it would be 10-2-2 then. Okay, we do have the 2 war wives, as it were, but we'll confirm this setup. Kind of awkward here having Peng Dei and Guan Yu when Peng Dei was the guy who killed Guan Yu. That's actually incredibly awkward. This is the most awkward cursed comrade setup ever. Wife Maxim's paying off. We have a daughter that's born. She's an adorable girl. The night she was born, he had a dream of a sacred beast, a black tortoise. The child has been chosen by heaven, and her success is assured. Please, that's not even specific. Is she just gonna have all the stats in all the right places? Lu Shu, sure, why not? That's a good name for us. So if we get another 14, 15 years, we'll start having these children coming of age, at which point that will hopefully turn the tide, if there's still a tide yet to be turned. That is quite a amount of time. We're also doing a little bit of a fetch quest. We'll debate this guy, but we're doing a little bit of a fetch quest to make Meng Huo our friend. Unfortunate that we can't just roar and get past him. And I'm not sure we'll show this. It's not high stakes. Worst case scenario, we just have to pay some ducats. Ayo, wife Maxim time. Ah, this is a dear friend's child I've been taking of. Huawei, do you say greet Liu Bei? Well met. My name is Huawei. I've heard so much of your exploits and I always wanted to meet you, etc., etc. Big nice. And then we say she absorbs herself in martial training, so we're getting another martial wife. And unfortunately, I think we actually have one that already has this art, so this is going to be a little bit awkward. It's going to be a little bit awkward marrying the long-lost twins adopted by various officers, but you know, you got to take one for the team. If you're going to wife max, you just gotta do it. They just gotta look the same sometimes. And so, of course, we will get a ceremony, we will support each other forever, etc., etc. Everyone knows that you check the stat line on the wedding night. And so we will be taking a look at Huawei. Oh my god, hopefully they don't have the same name. I don't think they do, but it said that she was obsessed with warfare, and so we do see Huawei. She's 88, 97, and this is with our boosts already, so she's not quite as good as Jiangzi. Not that we're... Oh, wait, no, they're not the same art. Okay. I take it all back. They just kind of look the same. Okay, she doesn't have a very good aptitudes, so we'll probably be taking her in the unit with us, which frees up Jiangzi to have her own unit. Now, she doesn't have a bunch of these traits, but she's Steel General is reasonable, and she has a Spear aptitude of A, and so we'll probably be now kind of, when we're thinking about marching north, which is probably going to be next episode, when we're thinking about marching north, we're probably going to march north with something like this, with Guan Yu leading a spear unit, her leading a spear unit now. Peng De leading a horse unit. That's kind of why we wanted to have him around. Meng Huo not leading a unit, but being coordinating with Zhuge Liang. He's going to be in a unit with him in order to pull Zhuge Liang's unit's war up, because Zhuge Liang is lacking. And also, if Zhuge Liang's unit gets pulled into a duel, Meng Huo will be the one that duels, and he will have 101 war. So this will be a nice little boon for Zhuge Liang's unit. Sun Shengxiang probably come in a unit with Liu Bei to boost up the stats quite a bit. She has quite a bit of leadership now with the new, combined with both of the comrade setup, giving +10 or giving +2 leadership, but +3 from her rank, and then +3 from her rank on war, and +10 on this, and so she's going to be close to 100 war. We have the new Huawei, who's just going to come into the unit with us, and she's going to boost up the war and the leadership quite a bit. Very solid. Yeah, comrade officers. She's comraded with everyone. Liu Bei, I think we are going to lead a spear unit. In theory, we can do a bow unit. We maybe want to get someone... Actually, wait. Oh, you know what? You know what? When we were doing the fighting, she was pulling up our spear aptitude, and that's why we were leading spear units for a while. So maybe with Liu Bei now that we won't have her in the unit, maybe we march out with bows, and so we'll have a couple of bow units. Guan Suo will march with his daddy, as one does, boosting stats by an extra amount, if I recall correctly, because they are related. And then we'll have a bunch of people left behind. Fa Zhang is still leading some forces. Huang Yuying probably go with Meng Huo and Zhuge Liang in one unit together, boosting stats because she is a wife of Zhuge Liang. And so that's kind of what our when we advance out, that'll look like. We already advanced out kind of an army that we were expecting to use in Ma Dai and Zhou Yu. And they are currently churning through all these guys who are trying to attack us, but we're preparing for the point at which we can attack into Xiangyang, because Kai Yang is now under attack by quite a bit of Sun Sei's troops. This is kind of the main point, or the main thing that happened this episode, is we managed to convince Sun Quan to have a go at Xinye. We maybe can convince him to have another go at Xinye, because, let's see, foreign, and then petition. No, we cannot petition. Oh, wait. Solicit? I sometimes forget which ones are which, but I do think, yeah, I do think petition is asking for them to attack, and I think since we already have it slotted in, we can't do it again. Looks like they only have about 50,000 troops left, but there's not a lot of troops here for Cao Cao's army, so if they march to reinforce that, then we should be able to make progress, and if they don't, then, or if they march to attack us, then maybe they could still push through and capture this. Kai Yang, very critical spot, which would cut off any sort of reinforcement into Xiangyang. Anyways, I think we're going to conclude this episode here. This episode, we did lose Hanzhong. We're going to lose Yangping Gate, which is unfortunate. I think they are marching out for us, but I'm not really seeing it. We will have to try and figure out some way to get Ba Shui back if we ever want to get Hanzhong and try and get this kind of situation where we have a pincer between Xiangyang and Hanzhong. A little bit of a back and forth. We're hoping that this causes enough disruption and damage that we can get something done. We certainly have quite a lot of troops here that we could attack out with, around 40,000. These guys have just been chilling here for forever, and they're just trying to protect, but they should be up here. They're AI controlled. I think in theory, if we reassign Sham-OK somewhere else, it would send the troops back, and maybe we have to do that. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do the YouTube algorithm thing, and other than that, have a good day.